What's going on, the leg game viewers? Welcome to another edition of Darrian's Corner, man. Initially, we're going to get through 3 different plays for you guys, so we're not going to waste too much time. First thing you're going to see here is going to be the 18-yard touchdown run from Dak Prescott against the Chargers on Monday night. So first, let's get into the offensive things a little bit. So we're going to see a Twins tight weak set. Reason why we're going to call that Twins tight weak is because you're going to have your running back here set to the twin side, which is going to make that the strength. You're going to have your tight end set to the weak side with the single side receiver. Essentially, it's going to make that the weak. So getting into the concept that they're going to run a little bit, it's going to be what we call a counter read. So you're going to have Tony Pollard coming across here for a run mesh. You're going to have this tackle pulling across, and you're going to have this guard pulling across with your center down blocking, guard down blocking, your tackle's going to down block, and this tight end is actually going to go backside backer here. And your 2 responsibilities for your pullers are essentially going to become play side defensive end, play side linebacker here. We're going to leave this defensive end here unblocked because he's going to be the read key for Dak Prescott. You're also going to get a wrap motion here from CeeDee Lamb, and he's going to play as the pitch man. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to bring this corner over who's locked in man with him, and it's going to bring this safety down in the alley who is bluffing cover 1. But we're going to see how the wrap motion essentially made them overflow and created a lane for Dak Prescott to come right through here for a rushing touchdown. Right. So getting into the defensive side of things a little bit, what we're going to have is a 5-2 front, and they're going to be in a cover 1 bluff. So what that's going to get you here is locked out here. He's bluffing over the top. This linebacker will be responsible for the tight end, and this linebacker will be responsible for the running back. Then you're going to have rush, 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 and rush. Now we'll get into the techniques of the defensive line and what gaps they're playing a little bit more in the back angle here and some of the run keys. But now we're going to see how this played out a little bit. Get that cleared out for you guys, and let's get that tape rolling. So like we said, first thing we're going to see is the wrap motion from CeeDee Lamb cause this corner to come all the way across the field. Your man linebacker is going to be run keying the tight end. He's going to be coming across to get this linebacker, so obviously he's going to flow into his gap. Then we're going to see this defensive end is actually going to end up flying upfield playing the run, and that's going to give Dak Prescott his open alley once he sees that this corner flows all the way with CeeDee Lamb with the safety on the wrap motion. It's going to take that right into the end zone for a touchdown. Now we'll get into the back angle a little bit here, kind of get into some of the techniques that we're playing. So what we're going to have is a 0 technique or a head up nose on your center. You're going to have a 3 technique here or a outside shade on the guard. 3 technique here, same thing, outside shade of the guard. You're going to have what we call a 7 technique here. He's going to be playing an outside shoulder of the tackle or tight end in this case. You're going to have a 7 tech here, same thing, outside shoulder of the tackle. Then you're going to have this linebacker is going to be playing in the B gap looking for run keys, and then this safety playing linebacker is going to be in this gap looking for run keys here. Let's get that rolling for you guys a little bit. So once we see the wrap motion come across again, we'll see how much flow that we have going towards it with this safety coming down. And this is what Dak Prescott sees from the backside. So as you can also see, the pulls weren't the cleanest as Zach Martin tripped over his own feet. Kind of made a little mesh up in here. I don't think Tony Pollard would have got the first down that Dak gave it anyway. So I think that was a good pull regardless of whether the defensive end had crashed or not. But he was chasing Tony Pollard. So that made that essentially the correct read. Going to take that in for a touchdown with Darrian James following him, and that's going to show how we can just create run lanes off of just simple actions, mesh showing good action, flowing one way, and then we can get a defensive end crashing down hard on the second. So that's going to be our first play of the day, and going to give me about a second here. We're going to get you guys ready for the second one. All right, so getting into our second play of the day here, we're going to see a touchdown pass from Derek Carr to Rashid Shaheed in the Saints versus Texans game from Sunday. So first thing we're going to see offensively is that we're in a 10 personnel set. It's going to give you 1 running back, 0 tight ends, and 1, 2, 3, 4 wide receivers here. So formation-wise, we're going to see a trio right bunch tight set. So it's going to put the trio to the right side of the field. They're going to be in a bunch set with 1 on the point and 2 off. And then we're going to have a tight alignment. So they're going to be a little more condensed than it normally would be. They'll probably be about on the numbers had they not been in a tight set. So getting into the concept a little bit here, we're going to have a levels drive concept. So what you're going to get from your single side receiver is the drive route, or you can just call this a variation of the post. Going to be about 15 to 20 yards down the field. Then we're going to break at a 45-degree angle towards the goal post. Going to get a 5-yard in route from your number 3 receiver, a 3-yard drag from your number 1, and you're going to get a 15-yard dig route from your point man. All right, so getting into the defensive side of things a little bit, what we're going to see is a cover 4 bluff blitz from the middle linebacker. So you're going to get a rush from the end, rush from the tackle, rush from this tackle, and rush from this end. You're going to get this corner over the top, this safety over the top, this safety over the top here, and this corner over the top as well. Then you're going to get this linebacker playing a hook to flat zone, this linebacker playing hook to flat, and this linebacker is bluffing. Then he's going to drop into a middle read here. So getting into how this play shaped out a little bit for you guys. First thing we're going to see is that both of the over routes drew the attention of this safety here is going to come down from his zone and try to essentially pick up the route here. Then we're going to get this safety, oh, he's supposed to be over the top of this corner, but he's actually going to come driving down on this 15-yard dig route. And what that's going to let Shaheed do is he's going to slip in right behind here, behind this safety and across this corner's face. So we can see Derek Carr puts that ball on a rope and he's able to fit it in right there for a touchdown. So getting into the back angle a little bit here, we'll just kind of see how Derek Carr was able to drop back and read the safeties. It was a little low, but we'll see how good of a pass this was as he puts it right on the line, right past this corner and nowhere where this safety can get it for an easy touchdown for Shaheed. So one lesson that we're about to see is that football is actually a very finite game. There's not a lot of different concepts. So on the next play, what we're going to see is actually the inverse of this. So we're going to see a flood with a corner route, but we're actually going to get into that in 1 second. I'll pull that up for you guys here. All right, so getting into our third play of the day here, we're actually going to see a touchdown pass from Jared Goff to Jameson Williams in the Lions versus Bucks game. So first thing we're going to see from the Lions offensively is that we are in an 11 personnel set. So you're going to get 1 running back here, 1 tight end here. You're going to have your 3 wide receivers here. So we're going to be in a trio right bunch tight set again. So the tight alignment is actually going to tag both the receivers to come in and the tight end to come in attached to the line rather than being a split out wide receiver here. So what we're going to get from the concept is a 20-yard corner route from Jameson Williams. Now what that is essentially is a opposite of the drive or post route that we looked over in the previous play. It's going to be going 45 degrees towards the pylon rather than going towards the goal post. Then we're going to get a 7-yard out route from this receiver here. And we're going to get a 15 to 12-ish out route here from this receiver. Gonna have this running back coming over and checking into the flats. Then we're gonna have this tight end staying in for pass pro. Now getting into the defensive set a little bit, we're gonna be into a 4-3 stack. So that's gonna give you 7 in the box, 4 on the defensive line, and 3 stacked behind. You're gonna get your 4 DBs playing over the top in a cover 4 palms look. However, we're going to see how they're going to check out of that and roll into a familiar coverage here in 1 second. So one staple of Todd Bowles' defense is he likes to get very exotic with his coverages. So what we're going to see is this outside linebacker is actually going to blitz here. This defensive end is going to drop into the flats, and then your 4-man rush is going to be tackle, tackle, end, and linebacker here. Bring your 4th man. Now what we're going to see from the secondary is this middle linebacker is actually going to drop outside and take anything low and inside. This safety is going to roll down from the hash and take anything low and outside to the flat. This corner is going to drop out and take anything high and outside, and this safety is actually going to roll to this hash and take anything high and inside. Now, what that's going to do is going to put this safety here in a bind, as we'll see in 1 second, because Todd Bowles does not account for the speed that Jameson Williams would have and already having a step over this safety coming across the field. So let's get that clip rolling for you guys a little bit here. Now, as we can see, we have the linebacker dropping out. We have the safety who rolled down, taking the 7-yard out. We have the corner picking up the 15-yard out coming down, which leaves the safety with no help over the top to try to run with Jameson Williams on this corner route. I think I'll take the 4-3 speed and the step here. Jared Goff likes that look as well, puts that ball over the top. And we see Williams make a very nice adjustment to come down with that football. So getting into the back angle a little bit here, we're just going to see again how good of a throw that was by Jared Goff. Kind of hard to see the formation here, but once again, you'll notice got the blitzing 4. You got your defensive end dropping back. You have your safety rolling, who's already late getting over the top. And Goff's just going to open up his shoulders and let that football go for Williams to go under it, and the safety can adjust to make a play. So again, guys, that's just going to show you how there's not that many concepts that they can run in football, but it's all about how you run the concept. So you'll see that they line up in almost the same formation, run the same concept, but they'll flip it and invert it, switch one man's route, and then boom, you have a whole nother touchdown. It looks like a completely different play, but at the end of the day, we're really running the same 2 concepts out of the same 2 formations, just 2 different directions. So I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. It was a longer episode. I appreciate y'all for sticking through with me, man. We'll be back next week with the leg game live, man. Again, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure